Five Nights at Freddy's was created by a non-popular game developer named Scott Cawthon. Then later, after a couple of months, the game just became a blast and many people played it around the world. The movie revolves around a dreadful story that Scott created of the killings and hauntings of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and then the souls of the children later go to rest after being released from the rotting suits that later become the Purple Guy's home. The movie takes place in like 1993, and that was like the year many theorists believe that the first game Pizzeria took place. But yeah, the movie starts out in 1984 because that's the year I think that the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was open. Because in the second game he says it was opened a couple years ago, so that can't be like 10 years or so. So I think in my like this and not my story, like it's 1984. So then, he doesn't actually kill them in the movie. He just leaves them locked in the pizzeria and just lets the animatronics come kill them. Pretty horrible. And he comes back, like at first he was gonna leave the place, and then he just locked it closed. So then the title comes up, and the movie it starts out with this sequence. And this is the first time I actually go to locations to film. I don't think the first time, because I think a long time ago, like with Godzilla, Exilla, I did went to locations, but like I go with a car, like my mom drives me around, I say which place I want to film. It starts out with Purple Guy's papers and how he's gonna kill the kids and the year check marks. So then a man named Mike Schmidt, I think that's how you pronounce it, he's looking for a job to pay for his rent. So then he's just walking around town, and then he goes in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza in 1993, and then he talks to the manager, and he just gives him the job without any questions, like, I'm gonna give you the job. And the sets, they weren't hard to make. I mean, this is probably the movie where you see a lot of the sets and like non-monster, because all this is basically like human figures. I bet later in the future I'll use actual people. That will be like in college, so don't expect that coming anytime soon. But yeah, all the sets, the human figures, I just move in with my hand. And I just use the same camera. It's not good quality in my opinion. But later, after summer, I'm gonna get a great quality camera. Then he gives him the job. He was the manager's played by Space Wing. And then in the movie, you do see Easter eggs around it. And I don't mean Easter egg, but you do see little clues. And you just have to find them yourself. But I could just say a couple of them, that you see the kids that were killed in 1984 still haunting the place. You can see some of them in some background shots in the movie. So then Mike takes a job, he just leaves, and yeah, all the sets, all the blackboards, all are the same, and all the tiles, I just went into Google, printed out these black and white tiles, and printed out 10 copies, and put them together. Then there's this scene where you see Jack Sparrow, I know it's kind of funny, but he tells Mike about the horrors in the past of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And then he thinks he's crazy, so he just walks away running. And he's played by Gojira 5400. And then the table, the cup you see and the plate are made out of clay. And then the table, a lot of stuff I have here are stuff I used from my childhood. And then all of the sky shots are actually in my backyard. I just film up in the sky, which I do in like all my films. All the sky shots are from my backyard up in the sky. Then there's this scene where Mike is watching television in his home, and it was pretty cool filming that. The TV is actually my 3DS, which is that was the only way I could do it. I just played Godzilla 2014. So then he notices the time that he has to go to work, leaves his cup on the ground, on the table actually. So then he leaves. Then we skip to a scene where Mike arrives at the pizzeria place, and you see his car lights past the manager, and then he lets him know that he's very late. Not very late, but some late. Then he lets him know that since it's your first time, it's understandable. And that all the night shots are actually filmed outside. The only time you see a night setting is in the pizzeria, and I just filmed that in daytime. But all the rest outside shots were nighttime. I just filmed, waited till around 9 o'clock p.m. in where I live, and just waited. So then we go to the scene where Mike goes to his office the first time, and you see in the background are actually just Godzilla pictures, because I couldn't make the ones for the office. I couldn't make separate ones. So all the office is pretty complicated how I made it. It took a really long time to make it, and all the blackboards. You see, like I don't actually build a pizzeria. I just every shot I film, I move the blackboards and then move the tiles around, so it looks like it's a whole pizzeria, but it's not. It's only one. Each shot is just one set. Like I just change the places of all the blackboards and the tiles and just things, and maybe Foxy's curtains, which come a lot in the film. Then the cupcake, I just use it as my clay. The poster is actually interesting because I just took a picture of my the three figures I have of clay, and I have this brick background board. So I just took a picture in front of it and just put photoshopped it with Celebrate in front of it, printed it out to a small size. For the TV monitors, they're really hard to do, so I just got these black blocks that kind of look like TV monitors because I put a plastic stuff in front of it so it shines, so it kind of looks like TV monitors. The wires are used over earphones that I don't use anymore, and a couple of other them are just strands of clay. And the fan, I just printed a picture of the fan on Google, and then for the cup, I actually made that out of clay too. And for the paper scraps, I just crumpled tiny pieces of paper. And for the drawings, those are pretty interesting to make because I just got pictures and try to exactly copy a lot of the pictures for the FNAF game. And for the chair, in this movie it's cool because you get to see what Mike looks like when he's sitting down, and you see his chair and how, like, backward shot of what kind of looks like behind that monitor screen you see every time you play in the game. Then for the phone, it's made out of clay, and the phone guy is played by Eric Lupo, who that's his real name, but his YouTube name he just keeps changing it, so I'm just gonna say his real name. So then he checks his cameras, and the TV, the monitor, little iPad is made out of clay also. Pretty easy to make, just made a square. And the thing about this movie is that you get to see every hour something happens, and you get to see the cameras. I just have to change the lighting, and lights flashing. I just got flashlights, and for the Foxy curtains, I just got purple paper and wrote stars on them with white color pencils. And for the show stage, I use the same brick background board and just place the animatronics on a higher level instead of the floor. So then you see Mike, he's just facing the game challenges and trying to survive. Then you see the Bonnie on the left corner. The door was pretty interesting to make also. I just got red paper and wrote black marks with Sharpie, then cut out yellow pieces of paper and stuck them on there. Has to be perfectly. And for the walls of the FNAF pizzeria, I just got the same tiles you see on the floor. I cut them into strands of like 2, and then paste them around. And for the scene where you see Foxy standing at the far end of the hallway, I just moved the sets. Like all these blackboards you see around the whole pizzeria, it's all from the same office. So then I try to chop up the time when you see Foxy running, because since he's a stand-in non-mobile figurine, you can't move him. So all the shots were really close-up shots. None of it is like really big. The only time is when the opening sequence, and you have to get the lighting correctly. Then some shots I use real, like where the flashlight comes up. Then he actually goes out after he's faced everything. It's 4 a.m. He goes out to the show stage, and you actually see how he moves out of his office because he's not afraid. He's just trying to check everything out since that's his job. He goes in the main dining area and then finds the back room and goes in there and sees all the horrible stuff. And for the biggest shot in this film is the dining area shot, where you see that big shot where you just see Mike standing in the middle of the shot. And for the drawings, the little drawings you see, I just paste them around in a couple of shots, like close to where the back room is. And for the door of the back room, I just cut out a cardboard piece and wrote on it and try to write these little like markings so it looks like made of wood. So when he goes in the back room, it was pretty good making that. Also, that set I had to get the heads of the animatronics, the ones from my clay, and just smuggle some ketchup on them. It's actually real ketchup. And then you get to see Golden Freddy in the movie. And all the stuff is pretty like all made by me. I just the only things that I buy are the boards and all this stuff. It was a non-profit film. I didn't have to spend any money. All this stuff is stuff I've had before, and all my reviews, like the blackboards and stuff. Then we get the next scene where the purple guy and all the clay and everything, it's all from what I made from the Sculpey clay, and for the barrels, they're just barrels I had from before. Then when he pours the oil is pretty interesting. I got chocolate syrup, which is kind of cheap, but I just poured it all over the tile floors. And for the scene with the ghost children, you don't see the ghosts because they're ghosts. I would imagine you can't see ghosts if they're real. I didn't want to make some weird paper fake looking ghost children, so you get to see Springtrap dead on the floor, and he gets inside of the suit. And for the spring locks, it was pretty interesting to make him too, because I just found a thing in my room made of metal, and the circular ring was just a hanger, and I just pulled it back, so it was pretty easy making that. And I chopped it up really good so it looks like it's made of spring locks. Then purple guy dies, and for the ending sequence, you get to see fire, and that's when the actual game, for the third game, the place burns down. So I actually had to burn some of the tile floorings I had. So I had to burn the drawings too, the little kid drawings. Then you get to see the final shots with Springtrap on the floor being burned up. And for the final scene, I actually just printed out a picture of the destruction and put it black and white in Photoshop, pasted it on a real newspaper, and with the title on the top that it burns to ashes. And for the set, that's like the only set that kind of looks like a Godzilla set, because it's all destruction. When you get to see what it looks like, how it's burned down and everything, all the debris. I just got rock, cement. If you see my Godzilla movies, you know how I do those sets. I just got the burnt ashes from the flooring, some kind of those building making places, the machinery and stuff. And then they put Springtrap away in a restricted area site, so then after 30 years later, or I think like 20 something years, he comes back. So that's why I made this movie. It was really good making it. It was fun. I'm planning to make a sequel, guys, and it's probably gonna come out mid-summer, I'm thinking. Because before that I have to make a Godzilla film, then the FNAF sequel, then another Godzilla film. So yeah, I'll make more behind-the-scenes videos like this. I know it's pretty long. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to do more in the future. This is KaijuZilla621 signing out.